So if you're on Twitter, especially VR Twitter, you may have seen some really cool videos of a game called Samurai Slaughterhouse, all created by one single developer, Justin Rosette from Tab Games. Well, I was able to get access to an early build of the game, so let me show you my experiences with it, give you my opinions on it, and hopefully you'll want to try it out and form your own. Hello, my name's AtomBombBody and I create VR live streaming and recording tutorials, although occasionally, like you'll see in this video, I also cover VR games, tools, and equipment. Without any further ado, let's show you Samurai Slaughterhouse. First, let me reiterate that this is a pretty early build. A lot of the feedback I have about some parts of the game have been addressed by Justin himself and are things he plans on fixing or adding on his roadmap. Consider this video more of a preview or sneak peek of things to come, if you will. Samurai Slaughterhouse is a melee-focused combat action-adventure game that takes place in a fictional land inspired by anime and the Sengoku period in Japan. In it, you'll be able to fight local ruling clans in order to take over more territories, but you'll also have opportunities to fight creatures from Japanese folklore as well. First, my favorite part about the game, the style. I absolutely love the black and white contrasty look of the game. The background also fits very well. The enemies, whether human or monster, all look and move very well. Even the blood is extremely satisfying. In the settings, you can even switch to a third-person perspective for streaming or recording should you want to show off the game in that way, and your headset view will remain in first person. Fun fact, the music in the game was also created by the developer himself. It's really well done and fits the mood of the game well. However, I did make a note that it would be nice to have some sort of battle music detection system so you wouldn't have hype music when you were just looking around and exploring, to which Justin responded that this was something he had plans to look into implementing in the future. Combat was a little hard to get into. For reference, I was using Valve Index controllers. Finger tracking worked, which was great, but the problem I had was that combat felt a little too wiggly and light, if that makes sense. This is a common issue with a lot of VR games in that the weapon does not have the right amount of heft to it, making combat feel a little slow and sluggish. Occasionally, I'd lose my weapon completely because it would get stuck inside somebody, which was a cool feature, but also left me occasionally weaponless and unable to defend myself without getting into harm's way. There were 3 different weapon types I could try in the demo: a katana, which I would have a hard time unsheathing because my arms couldn't seem to spread wide enough, a polearm weapon, which quickly became my preferred weapon of choice, and throwing stars, which I would like to experiment more with in the future. At the moment in the demo, I could mostly just explore and walk around, pick things up, talk to or recruit NPCs, and of course, slaughter everything. In the future, Justin is planning on adding multiple areas the player can explore and fight enemies, and more NPCs that players can interact with, along with quest lines, RPG elements, boss fights, and more. I think Samurai Slaughterhouse has a ton of potential. I can't wait to see more story elements added in and some of the bugs fixed and a few elements smoothed out during the development process. So now that you've gotten a taste, I'm curious on what your thoughts on the game are so far. The build that I tried should be available to you by the time this video is released, and you can find it on Justin's Patreon page at patreon.com/tabgames. He plans on releasing the full game to Steam sometime in 2022. I'll also add a Steam store link in the description below, but a Quest 2 port is also in the works, and I know there are hopefully plans to also bring it to PSVR 2. If you'd like to follow the game's progress, you can also follow the developer's Twitter at twitter.com/tabgames3. As always, keep on creating and never lose that drive to improve. I'll see you next time for more tutorials and reviews.